Hello, we come to the 8th Sunday of Ordinary Time, the last Sunday before the beginning of Lent. The Church continues to remind us of the virtues and qualities that should characterise our lives as Christians. This includes the quality of our words, the wisdom and the goodness that we manifest. Wisdom, the good counsel and sincerity that comes from the word of a Christian, is what sets him apart in the world. Not only our words, but our actions as Christians must edify, improve and encourage others. So today we must ask ourselves, do my words edify or make any positive difference to others? Does it build up or destroy the community? In today's Gospel, Jesus also teaches us that the quality of our heart determines the quality of our words and actions. He says, "A good person out of the store of his goodness in his heart produces good, but an evil person out of the store of evil produces evil. For from the fullness of the heart the mouth speaks." As Christians, if we live according to the good news, definitely our actions and words will be guided by it. Consequently, it will affect others positively. On the contrary, if we fill our hearts with impure thoughts, our actions and our words will be filled with nothing but nothingness. Also, Christ warns us today about being careful not to judge others. Rather, we should be humble enough to look inwards before criticising others. Hence, Paul reminds us, if you think you are standing strong, be careful not to fall. Today, let our hearts be filled with joy for what God has done for us through Christ. Through him we are filled with goodness, so that we can praise and thank God with a cheerful and sincere heart. Indeed, it is good to give thanks to the Lord for what he has done for us. One of the most famous or infamous statements from this Lucan passage is the one about us. How often do we go after the splinter in someone else's eyes and failing to recognise the plank in our own eyes? Are we not all guilty of this? We are so ready to criticise each other while we are guilty of the same thing, or even worse perhaps. Maybe we only do this in our minds, but we still do it. This brings us to a serious correlation between the Gospel and the teaching of our lives today. Let's think Lent. As everyone probably knows, Lent starts on Wednesday. Historically, most people do, or at least think about doing, something penitential for Lent. What about looking at today's scriptural reasons for some positive guidance? We've probably heard about doing something positive, but that can be so vague. I'm going to be nicer to people, or I'm going to concentrate on being a better driver, or any of the countless other indefinite examples. I suggest we put the vague and the definite together. What about if we take that vague statement about being nicer to people and put a name to it? What if I said I was going to be nicer to John or Jane? This is specific, it's not vague. What if I took it one step further? What if I see John or Jane and think about John or Jane and I say, or at least think, something positive about them? It's okay to start Lent in tiny ways. Concentrate on the small, positive steps and every day try to do a bit more. We're not perfect, but each of us is a good person basically. We want to grow in our goodness. This is what we want and this is what our God wants. Have a beautiful Lent filled with all the good blessings that Jesus is going to give us. Not a wimpy give up sweets Lent, but a positive thought filled and positive action filled Lent.